it in here. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today I'm joined by Jeff Dulemba of School of Rock Delco. Jeff, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Jeff, I am so excited. We got the whole tour, the rooms, the whole way and method of how you teach your students. How did this all get started for you?
Yeah, so in COVID, back, a couple years ago, one of my sons is autistic. So he loved COVID. No peer interaction, get on Zoom meetings, get off, get to play guitar, get to hang out. So it was really difficult to get him back integrated into society once it was time to, once COVID was lifted. Sports had dried up at that point. We couldn't find a place where he felt like himself. He was bullied everywhere he went. And I said, listen, the last place we've tried was School of Rock. And he was hesitant, but he went. They accepted him with open arms. They shared the stage. They built his confidence. His IEPs went away. His grades went through the roof. He found his best self. As a parent with a kid that's struggling, as you can imagine, we were at our wits' end. And this transformation was so powerful for us. My wife and I wanted to do this for hundreds of other kids. So we bought a School of Rock franchise.
Now, do you have any musical background, any training prior to all this?
I've played music my whole life. Guitar mostly is my primary instrument. And I can play some bass and I can play some keys. I've been playing in bands, cover bands for on and off for most of my life.
So this, for you, this comes natural. This is something that's in your wheelhouse. You love music and you love sharing the idea of music.
Yeah, the two groups of people, when I was looking at some ideas, two groups of people that I best connect with are young people and old people. So for me, being around kids, anytime I go to a party in a neighborhood or somebody's house, it always seems that I'm gravitating towards the young people or they're gravitating towards me. I have a passion for music, so being able to combine both of those things and be in a purposeful based business that is around music was definitely a treat.
Jeff, talk about what music, what instruments people can learn to play here when they come into this location. You're in media,
yeah.
So it's School of Rock Delco, but anybody with an idea or desire to play a musical instrument, what musical instruments do you offer to play?
We do all the rock instruments: guitar, bass, keyboards, vocals, and drums.
Not tambourine, because that's the one I'm really good at.
Everybody is allowed to play tambourine. So yes, we do all the percussion instruments as well.
Now, with that, you said you've played in bands prior, you have some experience with instruments. What about, how does that work for you? I didn't hear you say drums. I didn't hear you say percussion. Do you teach that, or do you have instructors that teach?
We have about 15 instructors right now, multi-instrumental instructors. We hire only gigging musicians since we are a performance-based rock school. Everything we do is centered around getting our students on stage. So we think it's important to have gigging musicians to teach them stage presence as well as their instrument. So all of our instructors are well versed in all of the instruments we play here, and most of them play up to 3 to 4 instruments themselves.
Wow. I mean, it seems to me like the philosophy and concept is you're not just going to learn music, you're going to live music. And I love seeing some of these live performances that you do. About how long does it take a student when they become new to where they're actually, as you say, gigging and producing live music?
Yeah, our programs are based from ages 3 to 93. So there's two things that we do when we bring a brand new student in. We're trying to get them proficient on their instrument, and then we're trying to get them to learn what we call the rules of the road, how to be good bandmates. So all of our programs come with a group component as well as an individual lesson. Students that are 8, 9 years old, it can take them 12 to 16 weeks to learn 3 rock songs. Other students that are a little bit older, sometimes the curve's a little bit shorter. It all depends on their practice habits, their age, their behavior, and their ability to participate within the group.
Now, you mentioned something interesting to me while we were taking the tour. And this is I almost feel the energy here, and there's nobody here.
Yeah.
But I can feel the reverberation of just the instruments. There's like an echo, but there's nobody playing right now. But you talked about the music and how you're able to utilize the music. Because if you're teaching rock music, You don't own those songs, right?
Correct. So one of our differentiators at School of Rock, we have 350 locations. We're in 15 different countries. We have 67,000 total students. We are the largest private music school education in the world. If you took all the undergrad programs in the United States and put all those students together, we are double the size of that, just to give you kind of the size of our capabilities. As such, one of our differentiators is how we teach music, which is the School of Rock method, but also how we teach musicians today to respect the name, image, and likenesses of the artists we represent. So we have 32,000 licensed songs that we're allowed to teach that encompass 158 shows, everything from Motown to metal. So we believe in diversity of music, and we also believe in respecting the name, image, and likeness of those artists that we represent. So if we do an Ozzy show, Ozzy gets paid. If we do a pop legend shows, Michael Jackson to Prince to all of those artists are getting paid. In turn, the artists love that we're the only music school that pay for these licenses, so they share their stages with us. We play Lollapalooza, we've opened for Queen, we've opened for Slipknot, so we have the ability to put the students on the largest stages their dreams and their hearts can imagine.
You mentioned your son and his experience with autism and how music has changed his life, how it's changed your family's life. Since opening here in media, what was the opening day? What's your big grand opening official day that it was?
August 29th.
August 29th. So you're about 6 months in, six and a half, 7 months in now.
Yeah.
What have been some of those aha moments for you at Monica, to say this was the best decision we made?
Yeah, now that we're focused on music and not on general construction, I can tell you that I thought it would take a year for a mom to say you've made an impact, or a student to say you've made an impact. It's not easy running a music school. It's not easy running a growing music school. But every day there's a different instance where a mom pulls me aside and cries and says, finally my child has something. Or a student gets on stage and hugs me afterwards and says, thank you so much for this opportunity. The confidence that we see, we have a Rock 101 group that's for ages 8 to 12. Generally in the first class, we have 12 kids that won't even make eye contact with each other. By week 3, they're running through the door. They're all building friends. They're all building community. And just seeing the light in their eyes and seeing that we're building good human beings, we're not just building great musicians. I pinch myself every day driving home. There's always an interaction with a parent or a student that makes me go, wow, we're making a difference.
You mentioned some live concerts, some live performance opportunities for your students to play in. It's the end of January now. Do you have a schedule of some upcoming events?
Yeah, thank you. We just finished our last performance season. Our performance season is like our flagship at School of Rock. Every 16 weeks, we do a theme show. We cast students to the parts that we think will challenge them the most, and then we go out in the community and do a concert. We have programs from 3 to 93, so our adult program just closed out at the Townhouse and Media. We had about 250 people come out to that. Great rockin' show. That was one-hit wonders. And then our students, ages 8 to 17, just concluded the Best of the 90s, where we did that at the Warehouse 3 that graciously hosted us. We had about 250 people come out to that as well. So great success for our first performance. We're starting this week with our next performance season. So we're growing. We're doing 2 shows. We're doing tribute to AC/DC, and we're doing Pop Legends. Those shows will be on May 10th and 11th. And then our adults are getting together this week as well, and we're going to do Best of the Decades, and we're looking for a venue for that, but that's going to be on May 8th. And then next week we're doing house band auditions, where the best students in all of our programs can be part of our house band and audition for our house band. And that's where we'll do Dining Under the Stars. That's where we'll look to do community events and communities. So this summer we'll be out gigging quite a bit.
You know, you've said the word community quite a few times. And what you are doing here is you are the epicenter for creating a musical community for those that are experienced in music, for those that just want to pick up something and didn't know they had that talent. Why is that so important to the brand or to what School of Rock in Delco teaches?
It saved my son's life. The trajectory that he was going on was not a good trajectory. And we were from therapy, from family therapy, from in-school therapy, from trying to find his why. That stage was the secret sauce on him unlocking his true potential of who he could be. And because we hire so many gigging musicians, I have to remind our musicians that the kids that want to learn music theory will come to us, and we can do that in our private lesson. But this is not about teaching kids how to play music. This is about building a community. This is about giving a home for a kid that hasn't found their home yet, hasn't found their tribe yet. We want this to be a place where kids can actually come in and look forward to building friendships. In turn, we want to then take these great little, what we call musical munchkins, and once we get them into this community, go out to our community to make a difference and let them see that School of Rock isn't only about building musicians, but about building great leaders and building great students. So we want to be on top of mind when the park needs cleaned up. We want to be top of mind whenever a nursing home needs an entertainment, or we got to plant grandma's flowers. So if I always tell my instructors, and they all cringe, if we don't build one musician, but we impact 100 lives to be better human beings and to be better with one another and be better in their community, I sleep at night as sound as a baby. So first and foremost, this is about community. This is about friendships. This is about belonging. This is about acceptance. This is about being the best version of yourself, whatever that self you want it to be. And then, oh, by the way, we get to do that with music.
You inspire and motivate a lot. I'm curious, who inspires and motivates you?
My grandparents. So my grandfather was like a father to me. My grandmother was the core of our family. I'm a transplant from Pittsburgh. Anytime I was depressed or needed a boost in my life, I'd call my grandparents. I'd go over there. I'd get to see all of my family. In COVID, they were separated from their, they were married 42 years. Everybody in the nursing home was separated. They were closed off to us. I literally lost both of my grandparents to loneliness and isolation, not to any disease or any sickness. So when I was struggling with getting my son back into the world, and I didn't have this outlet, I knew I needed purpose in my life as well. So once my son got straightened out and it was School of Rock, I was left with what's next for me. I have this hole in my heart. I'm looking for to drive purpose and build legacy and do it in my grandparents' honor. I have a picture of my grandparents in my office. I talk to them every day. They're here with me. I'm building this for them to prove that I can take their legacy and carry it on.
Were your grandparents musicians too?
No, they were just honest, hardworking, never make excuses, be the best human being you can be type of people.
So you're a musician.
Yep.
Who are some of your mentors? Who are some of the ones that have inspired you to take this musical world and give it to whoever wants to be part of it?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of power in music. So I always refer to, what's the first song you heard that made you want to pick up an instrument? So for me, it was Cherub Rock by the Smashing Pumpkins. I remember sitting in my dorm going, I will figure out how to play this song. There was no computer or tabs or internet or YouTube. And I think it took me about 2.5 months, and all of my roommates were like, I think you need to try something different. This is not working. And somebody else on campus also played, and the connection of the community and the connection that we had together really accelerated my learning, and playing in the group really accelerated my learning. So he was a very big mentor to me. The other School of Rock owners were all mentors to me. So coming into this community, knowing that I was and still am a consumer of the product, because my son still goes to Downingtown. The owner of Downingtown became somebody who was a cheerleader saying, yes, you can do this. And when you get into this community, it is like nothing else I've ever seen. Owners come out of the woodwork. Hokessen is very close to me. He's my phone a friend that says that's 2 years ahead of me that has built this journey. So we're very big on purpose-driven community impact. And all the owners have their own individual stories that kind of sound like mine that are in this to impact their community and the youth in their community. So it's the tribe that helps to build the confidence and helps to impact the community in a positive way.
How do people find you?
Yeah, so we're right here in Media. We're located next to the Acme and the Starbucks in the Media Shopping Center. They can walk in at any time. Our website, they can schedule a free trial. We're on School of Rock Delco on Facebook and Instagram, and they can always call us at 484-500-7625.
All right, you're out and about, and you're driving to School of Rock, and you have a cheesesteak craving. Where are you stopping in Delco?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So Delco Restaurant Review is probably one of my favorite Facebook pages because I'll just go in and say pizza. And it's beautiful how there's 150 people who have their favorite pizza place or their favorite cheesesteak. So for me right now, I'm mostly in the media community getting my fix on for food. So, and I haven't found a cheesesteak I didn't like.
Okay, so you're going to just say all of them?
All of them.
All right. Do you have a specific craving for pizza, though?
Right now, Anthony's downtown's been pretty good. That's been my go-to spot.
All right. Do you have a topping preference?
I like pepperoni.
Pepperoni.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Cheese and pepperoni and some sauce and some dough.
That's it.
How about driving around and you have a convenience store need? Where are you stopping? Royal Farms or Wawa?
It has to be Wawa because of convenience. It's like right across the road. My kids come and work here on Saturdays and Monday nights. My son just turned 13 last night. My daughter's 15. So my debit card has hitting a bill like twice a week now because they can run right across the street to the Wawa.
Jeff, how do you describe Delco to somebody who's never been here or is not familiar with Delco?
There were 4 territories available to us when we were going to go look for where we were going to plant our flag. Media, Collegeville, Lancaster, and Doylestown. So we're campers. We were going to take a weekend and spend a day in each and an overnight trip. Our first stop was in Media. It was during the Jasper Jam. So we had breakfast. We saw music. And we left at about midnight that night. So we were like, we don't need to go anywhere else. This is our spot. So the first thing that really aligns with Delco to my family's core values is that of School of Rock's community. I think everybody here, and living in Chester County, I was blown away by the community, diversity, the genuine, authentic nature of people, how no matter where people come from or what their backgrounds are, there's a mutual respect. There's a mutual acceptance of people. I think Delco is just that maybe last place on the planet where people actually care about neighbors, care about community, and respect and accept diversity.
You have friends or family coming in from out of town?
I do.
And you want to give them that Delco or take them to that Delco experience? Where are you sending them or where are you taking them? Besides maybe a lesson here at School of Rock.
Yeah, after we're done our lesson at School of Rock, yeah, I'm definitely taking them into Media. There's always great events going on. There's always something family centric. So I'll take them to the Media Theater for a play. We'll go out to a nice meal there. I like the events during the day, so I'll try to find some community events that are going on. I'm going to take them to a show at the Warehouse 3 in Swarthmore. I think that's a great place to see a show. But I'm trying to hit as many spots as possible. I'm taking them to Rose Park for a nice stroll. Hopefully there's an event going on. But I think that's one of the things that impressed me the most about Delco is how much there is here to do for family, community, arts. It still has such a love for the arts, whether that's painting and drawings. I might take them either to PAC for one of the events that's going on there or to MAC to one of the art shows. So the beauty is in 8 hours, you can touch a lot of arts, you can touch a lot of culture, you can touch a lot of community here.
You've been a resident, so to speak, of Media for such a short time, but I will tell you, you've really got it dialed in. You are an ambassador for Media and Delco, and I think that's very special. And the philosophy of what you've really outlined here, it's about community. And if you're not going to be the example, if you're not going to know who your neighbors are, you're not going to embrace this world you live in, how can you emphasize that or teach that to your students? Is there anything we haven't talked about on the podcast today, Jeff? Anything you want people to know more about School of Rock or about you?
I think the biggest thing about me that I would want people to know is this is a family business. So my kids work here, my wife works here, I work here. Our teachers have become part of our family. Our families have become part of our family. So I think the first thing I want anyone to know is music isn't about talent. It's like we teach music like a language. We don't teach it in the traditional sense. So the first thing is, if you walk through our doors, we want you to feel like you're part of our family. We want you to feel like you're accepted. And if you've ever taken music before and it hasn't worked out, we think it's the old method in the way that people teach music that might have failed. And we'd love for you to come in and give us a shot so we can teach you music as a language. Most of our students here, we have 122 students. We're the second fastest growing school of rock in the system. Of our 122 students that are in our performance program, 80% play a second instrument, 95% play a third instrument. And it's because of the way we teach music here.
See, that was a jaw-dropping comment to say, because in my mind, learning an instrument, just one, would be quite an undertaking. But based on the method and the way you go about instructing music and to your students, what they are experiencing, it sounds like it's infectious. Your energy is infectious. The energy in this building, in this space is infectious. Come on out to School of Rock. They've got room for you, and they're ready to jam with you anytime you're ready to join them, right?
Ages 3 to 93. We have programs for all of you. Please come in.
Rock on, Jeff.
Rock on. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being a guest and a friend of What's Happening Delco.
Absolutely. Thank you as well.